5 months after my wife Sarah passed away, I still could not bring myself to throw away her broken glasses. They were the last thing she wore before the accident. One rainy afternoon, I finally took them to a repair shop owned by an old family friend. The moment he saw the glasses, his face turned pale. He quietly locked the front door, looked me straight in the eyes, and whispered, "Check her will right now before you are next." Seconds later, he connected the glasses to his computer. What appeared on the screen destroyed everything I believed about my marriage. If you think you know where this story is going, stay with me because every minute reveals another shocking truth. 5 months had passed since the funeral, but my house still felt frozen in time. Sarah's favorite coffee mug remained on the kitchen shelf. Her sweater still hung behind the bedroom door. Every room reminded me of the life we built together over 20 years. Friends kept telling me to move on, but grief does not follow a schedule. One afternoon, while cleaning the bedroom, I found her broken glasses inside the bedside drawer. I remembered how she always said they were custom-made because they helped her read tiny details that ordinary lenses could not. One lens was cracked during the accident. I decided to repair them as a way of holding on to one final memory. The repair shop belonged to Martin, a technician who had known our family for years. As soon as he opened the case, his expression changed. He stared at the glasses for several long seconds before asking me where I found them. I told him they had been sitting untouched since Sarah died. Martin quietly walked to the front door, turned the sign to closed, and locked it. My heart immediately started racing. He led me into the back room and lowered his voice. He said, "You need to check Sarah's will immediately. Do not tell anyone you came here, and do not trust everyone in your family." I thought he had lost his mind. Then he placed the glasses into a specialized scanner connected to his computer. The screen displayed something hidden inside the frame, a tiny storage chip no larger than a grain of rice. I could barely breathe. Martin explained that years earlier Sarah had asked him to secretly install a miniature digital storage device inside the glasses. She said it was only for emergencies and instructed him never to mention it unless something happened to her. He carefully copied the files onto the computer. There were dozens of videos. The first video showed Sarah sitting alone in her office. She looked directly into the camera and said, "If you are watching this, then something has gone terribly wrong." My entire body went cold. She explained that over the previous year she had discovered suspicious financial activity involving members of our extended family. Large sums of money had disappeared from accounts belonging to her late father. Legal documents had been altered. Signatures had been copied. She feared someone wanted control of the family inheritance. At first, I refused to believe it. The people she mentioned were individuals I had trusted for years. Every new video revealed another piece of the puzzle. She had secretly collected documents, photographs, and recorded conversations because she knew no one would believe her without proof. The final recording ended with words I will never forget. "If anything happens to me, promise me you will find the truth and protect yourself." Martin then handed me an envelope. He said Sarah left this with him months before her death. Inside was a handwritten letter asking me to meet a lawyer she trusted. The next morning, I drove straight to the lawyer's office. The lawyer opened a sealed package prepared years earlier. Inside were official copies of her updated will, financial records, and detailed instructions explaining how hidden evidence should be delivered if she was no longer alive. Piece by piece, everything began making sense. Family members who had suddenly become interested in helping after the funeral were actually asking questions about property, investments, and insurance. Conversations I once thought were harmless suddenly sounded completely different in my memory. I carefully followed every instruction Sarah had left. Independent investigators verified every document. Experts confirmed that several important records had indeed been altered. The investigation continued for months. Eventually, the truth came into the open. Those responsible faced legal consequences through the proper authorities. Sarah's final preparations protected everything she had worked for. More importantly, they protected my future. Standing beside her grave 1 year later, I realized something. Love does not always end with goodbye. Sometimes love leaves behind one final act of protection. I gently placed the repaired glasses on the flowers for a moment before taking them home. Not because they contained secrets anymore, but because they reminded me that the people who truly love us often protect us in ways we never realize until much later. Sometimes the greatest mysteries are not hidden inside locked safes or secret rooms. They are hidden inside the ordinary objects we see every day. This story reminds us to value, trust, protect important documents, and never ignore the instincts of the people who love us. If this story kept you watching until the end, then share your thoughts below because your opinion matters.